my most previous recording, I was pretty much, I was in the process of, once again clarifying, illuminating, my place in the earth, and, for spectators and my identity, purpose, and just who I am, But it's really, to describe it is really insufficient. The truth, put the truth in the atmosphere, but that's that, as far as like the pride and the warmth of the pride of life is strong in society to the point where, everybody is, and don't get me wrong now, to a certain measure and belief, we all still believe in ourselves. But then we have to know that that we are underneath God, we are below God, and God is the one that's in control and over everything, Now, I'm aware of certain things, certain constructs set in place to create, create senses of or create certain types of insecurity inside my heart, from the devil, concerning, my purposes. Now let me mind you now. When God moves, God is supernatural. We serve a supernatural God. So not everything that's natural has, can not everything natural, can explain the actions of God, the moves of God. And so for God to show himself, he operates in the supernatural, in things that cannot be physically explained or cannot be physically done, or created. And it's different things like that. Things that God. And so it's not a matter of me, I'm not speaking on nothing that. One thing about it, a person has to have discernment. If a person has discernment, for one of the clear indications are the words and the fruit of the mouth. The fruit of the mouth tells, what direction the mind is going, where the life is headed, where the life is at, is the fruit. As a man thinking, so is he, and those thoughts become words. And those words are like rudders, and they move the person towards what direction they're going in from their mind. So as a man thinking, so is he, and that's true, and you can tell, like, for instance, man, when it comes to spiritual truth, spiritual guidance, and wisdom, somebody that publicly, exploit themselves, under obscenities and profanity and things, that nature, you can pretty much bet, because don't get me wrong, nobody's perfect, but we all should be working towards that goal, and you have to understand, God don't give just anybody any kind of knowledge, what I'm saying? He'll give you what's sufficient for you. Like, you don't give a baby, pork chops, like whole meats like that, You give them milk. And that's what God does. He starts our baby Christians with milk and things. He's not going to give a baby Christian whole, T-bone, platter or something. He's not going to give a baby Christian, this huge meal, to eat, by itself. Like, no, you have to digest and meditate, and you have to get to the point where you understand what you're saying in order to get it out to somebody else. And that takes times, years, and many, and it's a long road of fellowshipping with the Lord, so it don't just happen overnight, And so you have to understand, people that, anybody that's not 100%, in that route yet, or in a position where they need to be to deliver or embrace certain information, then that you can't take anything that they're saying, regarding spiritual truth serious, because we all know something, that somebody else don't, and somebody always knows something we don't. But God knows everything, at all times, and only the things that's beneficial to his purpose. God plays like, it's like a chess move. It's like puzzles, put together a puzzle. Like, God only does things for certain reasons, certain times, He is connected to everything in the atmosphere, you know, everything in the universe. It's connected to God in some way, you know. He's everywhere. God is just a spirit, man, that's beyond, it's unfathomable, you know. It ain't, and there's no explanation, you know, just God is who he is. There's no, he wasn't created. He's never gonna go anywhere. He just is, he's eternal. And he loves humans. He loves humans, you know. So it ain't me ever, you know, just speaking out of uncertainty or by chance or, you know, like I'm not like there's no reason for me to embrace godly, you know, and things of the light, you know, for a selfish or wicked gain of my own, you know. There's nothing in the world that I would gain from you know, overshadow or disrespecting or forsaking the Lord, you know, that's gonna promote or progress his kingdom. Because that's the only purpose for being in the world, you know. So I'm never talking on anything. Plus anybody that's not rooted in God, you can't, you know, their words or arguments or anything is unsubstantial. You know, it don't matter, you know. Only things that's in God. And then when things are one accord in the light, then there shouldn't be any kind of confusion in between what the Spirit telling me and what the Spirit telling somebody else concerning me. Because if so, then they ain't the Spirit in them. That's God. I mean, that's the flesh, you know, and vice versa. You know, that's why I'm always trying to check myself, you know, spiritually. Anytime I'm, you know, in my free time, you know, I'm talking to God about the state of my soul. All times, you know, not just talking, but actually living and trying to apply everything, you know, and that's my job, you know, that's my career, you know, that's my purpose, that's my happiness, my joy, that's all of that, you know. I'm good, as long as I got the Lord. So it's a lot of wrong people in the world, you know, but one thing though about me, I know the Spirit and the God, that anybody led by the Spirit and through the Spirit, they can never be wrong about the Spirit, about the things of God. You know, and that's a delusion. You know, see, that's a lie from Satan through his in the earth. You know, and they just there to create more confusion because they want the light on themselves. Because that's what Satan wants, the light on himself and not on God. You know, I meet people like me. You know, and I'm in the light. I'm bringing attention to God, not myself. You know, but things that want attention for themselves go discredit and try to disprove me tooth and nail because it's not getting the light. It wants all the attention. It wants to be the big person in the room. It wants to be the elephant. You know, it wants to be, you know, high and mighty. You know, only God is that, and that's what I promote. Like, hey, God is great. You know, I'm not saying Dexta is high and mighty. I'm not saying Dexta is all of that. I'm not saying none of that. You know, I'm saying God is to be praised and worthy. You know, that's who I'm bringing attention to, and that tells you the difference, and that tells you the truth. You know, like the fruit or the identity of anybody about what their intentions and motivations are. You know, and the money and, you know, things like that, you know. And, you know, that's not, you know, and that's not a personal attack on it. That's rather, you know, just the truth of society and the world, you know, and that's how most things are, you know. That's not my predilection, you know. That's not my interest to be obsessed with things that's physical, you know. Because the physical things will fade away. But the spiritual things are eternal. And then saying this time, everybody alive go to the other realm one day. It's best to have something stored up for yourself over there. And you can't have nothing if you give your soul away. But even your soul gone, then you definitely can't have spirit riches. And you definitely can't have a spiritual home in heaven, like a house, you know, for you to live when you get there. So you just, you know, there's no reason. You know, there's nothing. I mean, and if you don't have a soul when you die, then you go to hell. And you die. That's true death. You know, and so I keep mine attached. I ain't trying to get that up, you know, like that. But it's all about decisions, man, and it's strategic. You know, it's warfare. How the enemy plays. You know, you have to be wise as serpents, innocent as doves. God has that on my spirit for the longest now, And I be knowing when it's the spirit, man, because a lot of stuff, like there's a lot of things, just like for instance, in recent weeks, man, I was getting revelations of things happening. Revelations of things happening that I didn't even mention. I didn't say, little things. Just little things that happens in society, or, things I thought about a couple of times, and I was like, because it didn't happen. So I'm like, and then like a couple of days later, those very things happen, and then I'm starting to think, this happened like two times in the past couple of weeks, and I was like, well, Lord, I see now you trying to tell me something. So cause I already see him like, God, what God trying to do is giving me, it seem like God trying to just give me that, what I already should know. Like give me that faith, strengthen that faith in that department, which is there, but there's always room for improvement. My name is Dexta, but my name is Elijah. The eyes, those with eyes see, those with ears hear. For us to those that follow the Spirit, that be led by the Spirit, and those who love the Lord, follow, listen, and obey the Lord in the Holy Bible. Being doers and not just hearers and readers of the word. Attention to God is, that's what I'm. One reason God's mad, because when you, it's like God put certain vessels, just like if somebody was painting a picture or something. Like you can have a picture in your mind all you want to, but if you don't have no canvas to use, to a paintbrush or a canvas to put that picture on, then what's the point? You just have it in your mind. And you can tell people, but man, you just have it in your mind. And see, that's the thing. Like God put certain canvases and paintbrushes in the world, And then when anybody trying to take away His glory through them too, that's like, well, you trying to you looking at it, you're looking at the small picture. It's a bigger picture at work. It ain't just about me. It ain't just about the person or the person in the flesh. It's about what God's doing through people and what God's want for good. But see, the things like Satan only wants that attention for himself. So, when he wants that attention for himself, then he go do everything and make everything about himself and try to puff up everything about himself. That's what Satan does. That's something that like burns me up. It's so annoying, it's aggravating, it's all that, because I don't care. Like I really have zero interest or caring in anything that's being said, by the kingdom of darkness, any kingdom of darkness. I have no interest, no fear, no worries, no, nothing. Like it's just not even indifference. It's more indifference than anything, because I'm so busy worried about what I got to get done that I don't even care about, any kind of things like that. That's a smaller picture. It's a small picture of God has the whole picture in His hand. And that's all I'm worried about, And and Satan, one thing Satan does is keep misrepresenting things to be what it ain't, Misrepresentation. To confuse and delude and the masses, and all these strategies and things that come into play. They gotta be thwarted, you know what I mean? Disbanded, because it ain't, man, nah. I have focus, man, on the light. that's gonna help you get through every time.